Joining me live is the CEO of Australian British Chamber of Commerce, David McCredie, in the studio. David, an extraordinary few days and sad, but a celebration of an amazing life and 70-year reign.
Absolutely, Tim. As the King said overnight, the longest reign of a British monarch and done with proper dedication to her service over an extraordinary period of time. And he hopes to emulate that in the time he has left, as he says.
You've had a special place to observe the relationship between the United Kingdom and Australia because of your role. You've been in that role for quite a long time. What a remarkable unifier Queen Elizabeth II was. Absolutely,
Tim. I think one of the really incredible things about the way our constitutional monarchy works, and it works the same way in the UK, obviously with the Queen being present there, but through the Governor-Generals and governors here in Australia, the role that they have, which is non-political, that allows them to be the voice of the people and to serve the people directly, without the cut and thrust of the daily politics. Being there to see people after disasters, going well back in her career, but more recently things like, I remember vividly, the Grenfell Tower disaster in London. I remember her going to see people after the Manchester bombings, those sorts of things where she really helps to provide comfort and solace to people who have been tragically affected at various times. But also she has a great way of bringing the country together. You only have to look at the celebrations of the Platinum Jubilee earlier this year. Certainly every Jubilee she's had, and she had a number, were really strong unifying moments and really helped bring the British people together in particular. But I think that's true of us here in Australia and in other realms around the world as well.
Extraordinary when you think that Winston Churchill was born 100 years apart from Liz Truss. So this is what we've seen with Queen Elizabeth II, 15 Prime Ministers. And we've heard some audio that we hadn't heard either before or not for a long time, where the Queen was saying that she saw herself as a bit of a sponge to these Prime Ministers, some quite uncertain, a sounding board.
Yeah, absolutely. She had a weekly audience with the Prime Minister of the day, and that was, as Theresa May said in her tribute in the House of Commons a couple of days ago, it was the only meeting she knew wouldn't be briefed to the media. So there was a sense of security and safety that she was able to provide, and obviously a lot of wisdom, history and experience having dealt with all those Prime Ministers previously. I think Winston Churchill probably helped teach her a few things at the beginning, but certainly subsequent to that. And a very important part of the process too, somebody who can share the understanding of the role of leadership of the country, and not just the country, but the important role that the UK plays globally as well. And to have that sounding board and strong and steady advice from somebody who's been there through such a long period of time would be absolutely invaluable.
And something that we can all take away from the Queen's life as human beings is that sense of resilience, that sense of the sun will come up tomorrow after a tough time. 1992 was a remarkably forgettable year for the royal family with the breakups of the marriages, the fire at Windsor Castle. And she went on to say that she doesn't want to go back to 1992, but the way that she carried forward in life.
Well, absolutely. I think the testament of the longevity of her reign and the way that she carried herself throughout that reign, right up until only a few days ago when she, as Boris Johnson said, actually, saw off her 14th Prime Minister and welcomed her 15th Prime Minister, literally a couple of days before she passed away. That dedication to service is absolutely phenomenal, and we'll never see the likes of it again. Just the sheer length of tenure, it's very unlikely that anybody will ever have that opportunity to do that again. But the way that she went about it right up until those final days is something that we should all be really, really proud of, and proud of for her, but also proud of for ourselves. And to your point about resilience, absolutely, she had dreadful times in her life, but her commitment to her service. The way that she managed to continue to portray to us that strength, that she will be there, that we will be here tomorrow, and even the way that it so seamlessly has passed from her reign into King Charles's reign. It's an incredible testament to the strength of the monarchy that she built, and the way she's modernised it, and the way that she has allowed her legacy for that continuation of the monarchy, not just in the UK, but in the realms as well.
Finally, on to King Charles III, and he's a remarkably impressive individual if you read about and you know, go search to find out more about him and his life, and very much will be a modern monarch.
Absolutely. I've had the pleasure to meet King Charles previously on a number of occasions, and I've always been struck by his ability to, much like his mother, to connect with ordinary people, to listen, to understand who they are and to empathise with them, to understand their view of the world, and to take that on, and to provide the sense that we can do this together. And just listening in the last couple of days to many of the tributes from some of the charity work that he did, the fact that he really wanted to do things. He didn't just want to say, oh, we can help with that. He personally wanted to help and follow up. And I think that as he moves on to be king, and some of those things will have to be carried on by others, there'll be a sense of loss for some of those charities, even though he hasn't left us. But that work will need to continue, and he will, I'm sure, keep an eye on that into the future.
Absolutely. I know you've got a busy time. I know you're heading across to the United Kingdom. Thanks for coming in.